Coming up.
You are suing for $158,000.
Her two big, ferocious dogs just came up to us and just attacked us. They were biting my arms. They bit my legs. He clamped down on my leg, Your Honor. He just started shaking it all violently.
They were trespassing on my property.
From a physical standpoint, this could be a death case.
Absolutely. And he punctured a hole in my leg. There was blood everywhere.
This is a nightmare. Tell me how you got to Miss Anderson's property.
Your Honor, I have an 11-year-old son, John. He is absolutely amazing. One day we were watching a documentary, and he saw that there were other kids in our country who go hungry. And he has such a heart of gold. He was like, Mom, I have to do something. So he decided to start a charity, an 11-year-old kid.
You're doing something right with that boy.
Oh, yeah. I'm so proud of him. And, I just had to help him. I felt a little weird about, asking people for money, but I decided to go ahead and help him. So, we live in a great neighborhood. I figured, why don't we start right here in our neighborhood? And Miss Anderson, she's one of my neighbors.
And that's how you ended up on Miss Anderson's property?
Yes, Your Honor.
Miss Anderson, this is a dog attack. Tell me about your dogs.
My dogs are very good dogs, sir. They have been raised from puppies. They are huskies, and they're black and white. Those are our dogs at this time.
Beautiful dogs.
Beautiful dogs, yes, sir. They're very loyal and devoted, and we love them very, very much. They're just like our kids.
So are they pretty good-tempered dogs?
They are. They're very good and tempered. Even-tempered as well. They just...
Except the day that they attacked us.
Ladies, I'm glad you did that, because we're not going to do that today. You're going to talk to me today, okay? All right. Now, Miss Williams, tell me what happened.
Your Honor, Mrs. Anderson's house was the last house that we were going to. We were walking, up to the front of her house. We knocked on the door, expected somebody to just open the door.
And your little boy is with you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And out of nowhere, her two big, ferocious dogs just came up to us and just attacked us. I mean, they came full speed towards us. I mean, they were, gritting their teeth. And they just started biting us. They were biting my arms. They bit my legs.
So what did your little boy do?
Luckily, I was trying to protect him, but he ran away and he got in my car.
So he wasn't hurt?
No, well, he left me there because I was trying to protect him.
Yes, ma'am.
I had one dog on one arm, the other one was on my leg, and one of them, his mouth was, he was like foaming at the mouth. He clamped down on my leg, Your Honor. He just started shaking it all violently, and he punctured a hole in my leg. There was blood everywhere.
I'm really sorry this happened. This is a nightmare. This is one of my nightmares.
Yeah.
Miss Anderson, where were you when this happened?
I was at the back of my house doing my laundry. I had the radio playing. It was pretty loud. And I went up the hall to go to the restroom. I went to the door. I opened up the door, and that's when I saw Miss Williams on my stoop with her dog, with my dogs, which was horrific for me because my dogs have never jumped the fence. They've never come out the gate. They've never attacked anyone. But...
So what did you do when you heard her?
I was screaming. I was yelling. I was trying to pull the dogs off of her, and then I blew my dog whistle that I had around my...
To come out there, Your Honor. Another neighbor had to call 911.
Wait a minute. I was talking to you. I speak about this.
I ended up in the ER.
We're going to have order in this court. I'm not going to do this all day. Y'all talk to me. So you tried to pull your dogs off.
Right.
And you said something about a whistle.
Yes, sir. I have a dog whistle that I wear around my neck, and I blew the whistle 2 toots. And that brings the dog to my side immediately, and the dog came in.
Why would your dogs attack someone?
They had to have been provoked, sir. They had to have been. You know how kids are.
Because
they antagonize dogs. They'll pick at them.
Vicious.
They will
That's
pull
how
their nails.
So did your little boy do anything to provoke these dogs?
No, he did not.
What was he
Your
doing?
Honor. We were just simply walking up to the door. We had been to 10 other houses in the neighborhood with no problem. We had other houses that had dogs. They didn't attack us. They just came out of nowhere and attacked us.
They were trespassing on my property. My dogs went in protective mode of my home. They were frightened.
Talk to me.
We were so sorry.
Now, y'all, I'm not going to wrestle with you today. Talk to me.
Your Honor, can I say something?
Here's what I want you to do, because this is very important to you, and I respect that. I know you're in a lot of pain. I'd like you to take your time, come over to the plasma screen. This is the front of Miss Anderson's house.
Yes.
And I want you to show me exactly how this happened. Take your time.
We were just walking. My son and I were walking. We came up right straight to her door. We rang the doorbell.
Yes, ma'am.
And all of a sudden, the dogs just came out and attacked us.
Where did they come from?
We have no idea. They just came right up on us. I wasn't expecting it.
And before you knew it, you had dogs on you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can go back to the podium. Miss Anderson, you've raised these dogs since they were puppies, right?
Yes, sir.
Have they ever been aggressive or tried to bite anybody?
No, sir, never. And they've never jumped a fence, never went out the gate. They were trespassing on my land. As you can see on my house, I have a sign that says, "Beware of dogs."
Did you see that sign, Miss Williams?
No, Your Honor. But even if we did, beware of dog, okay, I won't go towards the fence. I wasn't even anywhere close to the fence.
Beware of dog says beware of dog. That is to keep strangers out from coming to my house.
But you said trespassing, and it wasn't like they climbed over the fence and tried to get in the back of your house,
No.
right?
No, sir. But they're good dogs. They're very good dogs, sir.
Except for this day.
Well, I take them to nursing homes. They visit my seniors over
After
at the
this?
senior club.
You take
They
your
have
dogs
been
to
before
nursing
that.
homes?
My
After
dogs
this.
are good dogs. They have done that.
Vicious dogs. Your dogs are unpredictable and dangerous.
Ms. Williams, you're asking this court to award you $68,000 for your medical expenses. Tell me about your injuries. I see the lacerations on your face and that your arm is bandaged.
Your Honor, they bit me on my arms, my legs. My face is ruined, Your Honor. I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed to even go to the store. I get panic attacks.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm on medication right now, depression, because my esteem is just broken.
So
I
sorry.
have all kinds of medical bills. I can't afford this stuff.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know what it's going to take to fix my face. Psychologically, those scars are unrepairable to me, Your
Yes,
Honor.
ma'am. In every personal injury case, there's always this aspect of the psychological impact of an injury, especially when it's facial injuries. Now, I see that you're asking this court for $90,000 for your pain and suffering. I understand why now.
Your Honor.
I didn't mean for it to happen.
I can see this pains you, but despite tears comes responsibility. If you're going to have an animal, you got to be responsible. To better understand the nature of your injuries, this court has consulted Dr. Samantha Brown Parks to explain it to us. So, Sheriff Matt, will you get Dr. Samantha Brown Parks?
Yes, Your Honor.
Doctor, the kind of wounds on Miss Williams's arms, how do dogs do that much damage?
So dogs are especially equipped for biting. They have large teeth to the side called canine teeth that actually puncture into flesh. They tend to latch on and move their head, which causes tearing in addition to the puncturing.
So that's why her arm is ripped up like that.
Absolutely. Dogs can be quite dangerous, and it's in their genes to attack a prey.
From a physical standpoint, this could be a death case.
Absolutely.
How are these dog bites treated?
We look at the wound and see if the edges can be approximated or brought together. If they can, we'll stitch them up and hope that they repair back into their original position. Occasionally, there's so much tearing that the two edges don't come together, so they misalign. If this happens, we'll put in some loose sutures along and then let it kind of scar in or granulate in on its own.
Doctor, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You are
Thanks for
relieved.
having
We
me.
appreciate you. Miss Anderson, do you see now the damage that your dog's created?
Yes, Your Honor.
This is a bad situation for Miss Williams.
Your Honor, I have something else I'd like to. I did my own research about Miss Anderson's dogs, and
Okay.
I have something. I subpoenaed their medical records
Sheriff Matt, will you get the documents from Miss Williams? Thank you, sir.
because I couldn't understand why they just attacked us out of the blue. So I went online and I read that dogs who are not neutered, especially adult dogs, they have a higher propensity, a higher chance of being aggressive. And clearly, Miss Anderson's dogs were aggressive. You can see right there.
Where it says neutered, both of them, it says no.
Yes,
Did
sir.
you know that your dogs were not neutered?
Yes, sir, I do.
Why didn't you neuter your dogs?
Because we wanted to breed them. They're two purebred huskies, and I've never read anywhere where it says that your dogs will be aggressive if they're not neutered.
To better understand the behavior of dogs, this court has consulted an animal behavior expert,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Greg Smith Aldridge. Sheriff, will you get Mr. Smith Aldridge in?
Yes, Your Honor.
Good day, sir.
Hey, Judge, how are you?
Welcome.
Thanks very much.
Can you tell us what prompts a dog to attack?
Well, a dog can attack for a number of reasons. Most of them are rooted in fear. There's also possessive aggression. These are the most common ones. Possessive aggression being the protection of something like its property, something that it deems to be its home, its human family, food, any resource that it thinks is important. There are also reasons like to establish dominance or frustration over something it can't get or get to, but those are the most common ones. I brought a video actually that shows what happens when somebody intrudes upon an animal's territory. As soon as the guy comes in and the dog is aware that there's an intruder there, you'll see the dog here in a second come around and immediately attack the guy. This is usually what happens. There's not a lot of warning here. The dog goes right to it. He's protecting his home, protecting his property. This is most commonly what happens when a dog attacks.
Now, is there a certain way that dogs attack?
Well, there's not just one way, but I actually bought a video of my dog. He's trained to attack, and you'll see here, the dog comes at me, and immediately he grabs an arm. They have one weapon, that's their mouth, so they're going to grab an appendage, whatever they can get their mouth on first. But what they want to do is bring you down, bring you to the ground. In their mind, they're helping to neutralize the threat at that point.
Sir, in this case, Miss Williams claims and frankly brought documents to show that Miss Anderson's dogs were not neutered. Does that play into the dog being aggressive?
It can. It certainly can. I mean, like a dog's testicles are the main source of testosterone. So once you take that away, you're lessening the amount of testosterone in a dog's body. It can play into it. If that dog has an aggressive nature from an early age onto maybe the age of 2, and you neuter it at that point, it's not going to make much of a difference.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate you. You are released.
All right. Thanks very much, Judge.
I think I've heard what I need to hear, and I'm ready to render my decision. In every personal injury case, the plaintiff has to prove 3 things. You, Miss Williams, you have to prove that Miss Anderson was wrong. That's the first thing. The second thing is that her wrong caused your harm. You have proven your harm. Here, you put up evidence that Miss Anderson's dogs came out of nowhere and attacked you and your son. Fortunately, he got away, but you did not. Being a good mama, you took all of the brunt of this attack and saved your little boy. And I know you don't feel good now, but you should feel good about that because you saved his life. Your son and you were also there on a very noble mission. I simply don't buy this stuff about a trespasser. You were there for the right reasons, doing the right thing, and this should have turned out right for you, and it did not. Because it did not, and you've got these terrible injuries, you want Miss Anderson to pay for it because you believe it is her fault. Now, Miss Anderson, you raised these puppies to dogs. They never showed aggression before. You can't understand why they attacked on this occasion. They got out of your fence, but you still are kind of baffled that this even happened.
Yes, sir.
You did not have the dogs neutered, but that's not necessarily a sign that your dogs will be aggressive. The principles of land ownership apply to this case. As a landowner, you've got to make sure that you are attentive to dangers on your property. If that danger is presented by the presence of a dog, you've got to make sure that you're attentive to that dog. If that dog has bitten someone or shown aggression, you are dead wrong and you are responsible for anything else that happens. The law is a 1-bite rule, however forgiving. If the dog's never been aggressive before, on the first bite, you are not responsible. Here, there is no evidence that these dogs were ever aggressive before this, and despite how much it pains me, the law requires that I find against you because Miss Anderson did not have notice that the dogs would be aggressive. So I find in favor of the defendant and breaking my heart, but against you, and that is my final verdict, and this matter is adjourned.
I did not expect that verdict. I mean, granted, dogs are family. And of course, the dogs have no history of biting, right? But the thing is, something that aggressive is kind of crazy. One thing that I think that they kind of overlooked is that the woman that got attacked, she said that the dogs came out of nowhere. Meaning she specified that they came from inside the house, or did they come from around the fence? If that's the case, was the fence left open? I think they brushed over that fact. If they were able to explore that brief little thing, because what it seemed like is that they came out of nowhere, not from inside the house. So that tells me that a gate was left open. What do you guys think about this? Do you guys agree with the judgment, or do you think it was too much, too little, or just right? Let me know. I would love to know your thoughts. Love ya.